About 4 years ago I was still a man who believed loyalty meant something and family was the center of everything. Been married to Clarissa for 15 years. Our life wasn't luxurious. We didn't fly to faraway places or live in a grand house, but I thought we had a steady, simple and comfortable life. I worked as a regional logistics manager for a supply chain company. It wasn't exciting, but it paid well. Clarissa worked part-time at a boutique. To me, it felt like we had built a solid foundation. When I married her, she already had a daughter named Chloe from a past relationship. Chloe was only 3, and her real father had left long before she was born. I stepped in without hesitation. I changed her diapers, sat up during her fevers, cheered at every school performance, and even coached her soccer team when no one else would. Never once called her my stepdaughter. Was my daughter. At least I believe she was mine. On our 15th anniversary I had planned to surprise Clarissa. I reserved a table at the same restaurant where I had proposed and bought her a simple but meaningful necklace. That afternoon I came home early, eager to surprise her. As I walked inside, I heard laughter from the bedroom. I thought she was chatting on the phone. But when I opened the door, I saw her in bed with a man who couldn't have been older than 25. I was 44 at the time. He looked more like a college kid than someone destroying my marriage. Clarissa didn't even panic. Calmly said, "I was going to tell you." I didn't argue or shout. I just left the room and sat in my car for hours, staring into nothing, trying to make sense of it all. The next day, she began twisting the narrative, claiming our marriage had been dead for years, that I was distant, the usual excuses. I didn't take the bait. Told her I'd be filing for divorce. Well, fighting just finality. But it didn't end. Chloe, now 18 and preparing for college, called me the day after I filed. I expected tears or questions, but instead got blame. She accused me of being selfish, of breaking the family apart just because her mother slipped up. She ended with, "I thought you loved us." Those words shattered something in me. I had loved them with everything, and now I was being discarded like it never mattered. Didn't argue. I only said, "Good luck in college." Then I called my lawyer and signed away all parental rights. Legally, she was never mine. Emotionally, I was erased. They made it clear I wasn't part of their future, so I gave them exactly what they wanted. I walked away, moved into a modest downtown apartment, and shifted focus to myself. I joined a gym, lost 30 pounds, and later landed a better job at a global shipping firm that nearly doubled my salary. Life didn't get better overnight, but slowly I rebuilt something that belonged to me. 2 years passed. Then, out of the blue, I received a LinkedIn message. It was Chloe. She said she wanted to talk. I didn't respond immediately, but curiosity eventually won. I asked what she wanted. She said she'd rather explain in person. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet at a coffee shop downtown. When I arrived, she stood up, wearing a shy, nervous smile, the kind kids give when they've broken something valuable. I sat down. She began, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry." Let her speak. She told me that the man Clarissa had chosen, his name was Brandon, had used her. He lived off her, cheated multiple times, and even slept with a girl Chloe's age. He left within 6 months. And Clarissa's life crumbled. She lost her job, started drinking heavily, and Chloe had to work part-time just to keep the lights on. Then Chloe said the line that twisted my stomach. "I thought about calling you sooner. I even dialed once but hung up. I just didn't know how." And then She revealed the real reason she was. She said, I need help. I'm behind on tuition. If I don't pay by the end of the month, they'll drop me. And Mom can't help. I leaned back and looked her in the I reminded her of the day she called me selfish, how she cut me out like I never mattered. Tears welled in her eyes. I wasn't angry. I had just accepted the truth. You're right, I told her. You didn't think I mattered. But now you do. Life teaches hard lessons. I left $10 on the table for my coffee and stood up. Before leaving, I said, I hope you finish. Cool. Really do. But I'm not your backup plan. You made your choice. Live with it. That was 6 months ago. Haven't heard from Chloe or Clarissa since. From mutual friends, I learned that Clarissa moved in with her sister and Chloe now works full-time while trying to study. Maybe she'll succeed, maybe she won't. As for me, I finally found peace. Bought a small house by the lake and met someone new, someone who never treated me like I was disposable. She had no kids, no baggage, and she loved without keeping. I once thought walking away meant I failed. But now I know it meant choosing peace over chaos. And that's a decision I will never regret. It's been 6 months since Chloe asked me for tuition. Months since I walked out of that cafe without looking back. But apparently, neither Clarissa nor her daughter knew how to let go quietly. 3 weeks after that meeting, I was served literally. One evening, a thick envelope landed at my door. Inside the envelope was a legal petition. Clarissa's lawyer claimed I had been a de facto parent and now had a moral duty to help pay for Chloe's education. Her argument was simple. I had stepped into a father's role for over a decade, so that made me financially responsible, even though I had already surrendered my parental rights. I laughed. Standing in my kitchen, I let out a sharp, bitter cackle like I had just heard the most absurd joke on earth. But beneath that laughter was pure rage. These were the same people who cast me aside, who humiliated me. Chloe once called me selfish because I refused to stay with a woman who betrayed me. And now they wanted to twist my love for the child I raised into a weapon against me. Not this. I called my attorney a relentless bulldog of a man. After reviewing the petition, he raised an eyebrow and said, "They've got no case, but we can hit back." And we did. He filed a counterclaim, demanding repayment for every cent I had ever spent on Chloe. Private school fees, medical bills, dance lessons, birthday presents, every receipt, every dime from age 3 to 18. The total came to $196,000. Maybe it sounded petty, but it was also justice. Clarissa tried to argue that all those years of support were just gifts, acts of love no different from child support, even though I was never her biological father. But when the judge saw the papers showing I had formally ended parental rights, and when he noted that neither Clarissa nor Chloe had objected at the time and that Chloe had cut me off completely, their case collapsed. The judge dismissed their petition outright. Better still, he set a date to hear my reimbursement claim. Clarissa never showed up. Chloe did. The stand, she tried to act innocent. Said she hadn't understood what was happening back then, that she believed I had abandoned them. My lawyer kept calm and asked a few pointed questions. You ever ask him why he divorced your mother? She hesitated. Well, did you ever call him after he left? Well, did you ever thank him for raising you as his own? Silence. Then the final question. So if he wasn't your father when it came to love, why is he your father when it comes to money? She had no answer. Just stared at her lap. The judge didn't award the full $196,000. But he did grant me $32,000, the exact amount taken from a trust one had once set aside for her college. Turns out Clarissa and Chloe drained it after the divorce without telling me. The account was still under name. What they did came dangerously close to fraud. 2 days later, I heard another knock at my door. 'Twas Chloe. She no longer looked like the confident young woman I once knew. No makeup, oversized sweats, hair tied up like she hadn't cared in. She stood there whispering, "I didn't know it would get this bad." Said nothing. She went on. "Mom's drinking again. She lost her job. Lease is ending. We have nowhere to go. Don't even care about school anymore. Feel like I've lost everything." And she broke down crying. I won't lie. Part of me wanted to comfort her, to promise it would be okay. Same part of me that once raised her, forgave her and protected her. But I remembered the day she called me selfish. How she never once was for my side. How she sat cold-eyed in court while her mother tried to bleed me dry. So I told her the truth. I wasn't the one who left. But I'm not the one you need anymore either. She begged, "Can't you just help us get back on our feet? You're doing well now. Just this once. Please." I shook my head. "I didn't walk away to punish you, Chloe. I walked away because you and your mother showed me I was never really family. Now I'm protecting the peace I worked hard to earn." Then more softly I added, "You need to protect your peace too. And that starts with taking responsibility." Handed her a card with the address of a women's shelter and a local job program. Then I closed the door. Not in anger, not with cruelty, just finality. Clarissa soon filed for bankruptcy. Chloe dropped out of school and now waits tables at a diner across town. Heard she's sleeping on a friend's couch. Man Clarissa left me for. He was arrested last year for fraud. Call it poetic justice. As for me, I remarried last month. Well, games, no secrets, just two adults who love and respect each other. She knows everything about my past and still chose. That's the kind of love I didn't know existed before. Sometimes the people you sacrifice everything for will never remember. But one day they'll remember why you stopped. And that's when the story truly ends.